What if I told you the United States government secretly drugged its own citizens? Not enemy soldiers, not foreign spies, ordinary Americans, college students, hospital patients, prisoners, even their own agents. They gave them LSD without their knowledge. They tortured them. They tried to erase their memories and rebuild their minds from scratch. Some victims went insane. Some died. And for 20 years, the government denied everything. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is MKUltra, and every word of it is documented in declassified CIA files.
MKUltra was the CIA's top-secret mind control program. It ran from 1953 to 1973, 20 years of illegal experiments on human subjects. The goal was terrifyingly ambitious: find ways to control the human mind, create drugs that could force people to tell the truth, erase memories, program assassins who wouldn't remember their missions. It sounds like science fiction, but it was real. At its peak, MKUltra had 149 sub-projects. The CIA funded research at over 80 institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons, pharmaceutical companies. Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, some of the most respected names in America were secretly experimenting on humans for the CIA. The official budget was $25 million. In today's money, that's over $250 million. And here's the most disturbing part. Most of the victims never knew they were part of an experiment. They were drugged without their knowledge or consent. They were guinea pigs, and they never found out why their lives fell apart.
To understand MKUltra, you need to understand the paranoia of the Cold War. In 1950, American prisoners of war in Korea started appearing on camera, confessing to crimes, denouncing America, praising communism. They looked empty, robotic, like they had been reprogrammed. The CIA panicked. They called it brainwashing, and they were terrified that the Soviets and Chinese had discovered something America hadn't. What if the enemy could control minds? What if they could turn American soldiers into communist sleeper agents? The CIA decided they needed their own program, not just to defend against brainwashing, but to master it themselves. In April 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles officially authorized Project MKUltra. The man in charge was Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist with a clubfoot and a stutter, who would become known as the Black Sorcerer of the CIA. Gottlieb had unlimited funding, zero oversight, and one mission: crack the code of human consciousness, no matter the cost.
The experiments were beyond anything you can imagine. The CIA's favorite tool was LSD, a powerful hallucinogen that had just been discovered. Gottlieb believed it might be the key to mind control. They gave LSD to soldiers and filmed their reactions. They gave it to prisoners who were told they'd get reduced sentences if they volunteered. They gave it to mental patients who couldn't consent. But that wasn't enough. They wanted to see what happened when people had no idea they'd been drugged. In Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA set up fake brothels in San Francisco. Prostitutes would lure men back to the rooms. CIA agents would watch through one-way mirrors as the men were secretly given LSD in their drinks. The men had no idea. Some had complete mental breakdowns, and the agents just watched and took notes. But LSD was just the beginning. MKUltra experimented with electroshock therapy, not to treat illness, but to erase memories. They called it de-patterning. Shock someone's brain enough times, they believed, and you could wipe their personality clean, then rebuild them however you wanted. They tested sensory deprivation. Subjects were locked in dark, silent rooms for weeks at a time. Some emerged permanently damaged. They combined drugs with hypnosis, with psychological torture, with isolation. They wanted to break the human mind down to its basic components and learn how to reassemble it. And they documented everything, except the parts they later burned.
The victims of MKUltra came from all walks of life. Frank Olson was a CIA scientist. His own colleagues secretly dosed him with LSD at a work retreat. 9 days later, he fell from a 13th floor hotel window in New York. The government called it suicide, but decades later, forensic evidence suggested something darker: murder. In Montreal, Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron ran a psychiatric hospital funded by the CIA. He put patients into drug-induced comas for months at a time. He played looped messages into their ears 24 hours a day. He gave them up to 360 electroshocks. One woman came to him for mild depression. She left, unable to recognize her own children. Then there was Ted Kaczynski, a brilliant 16-year-old math student at Harvard. He was recruited into a psychological experiment, brutal interrogations designed to destroy his beliefs and break his mind. Years later, Kaczynski became the Unabomber, one of America's most notorious terrorists. Some researchers believe Harvard created him. There were thousands more: soldiers, students, prisoners, addicts, people who checked into hospitals seeking help. They left as shadows of themselves. Most never knew what happened to them. The ones who suspected were called crazy. For 2 decades, MKUltra remained completely hidden from the public. But in 1973, something changed. Watergate had shattered America's trust in government. Congress was investigating abuses of power, and the new CIA director, Richard Helms, was nervous. Helms ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Thousands of documents were shredded and burned. 20 years of research, gone. Helms thought the secret would die forever. He was wrong. A small batch of financial records had been misfiled in a different building. They survived the purge. In 1977, a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered these documents, 20,000 pages of partial records, enough to expose the program's existence. Senator Ted Kennedy led congressional hearings. Former CIA officials testified. The nation listened in horror. But the full truth? That had been reduced to ashes. We will never know the complete scale of what they did.
When the truth came out, the government apologized. They paid some victims, they promised it would never happen again. But no one went to prison. Sidney Gottlieb retired peacefully. He spent his final years raising goats and volunteering at a hospice. He died in 1999, never facing justice for what he did. Richard Helms, the man who ordered the files destroyed, was convicted of lying to Congress. His punishment? A 2-year suspended sentence and a small fine. Most victims never received compensation. Many never even learned they had been experimented on. And the techniques MKUltra developed? Some researchers believe they were refined and used in CIA enhanced interrogation programs decades later. The government says MKUltra is over, but when asked if similar programs exist today, officials refuse to answer. Once you learn what they did in secret for 20 years, you start to wonder what they might be doing now.
MKUltra is not a conspiracy theory, it's documented history. The United States government experimented on its own citizens without their consent. They drugged them, they tortured them, they destroyed the evidence. And when they got caught, almost no one was punished. The program officially ended in 1973, but the questions it raises are still relevant. What else have they done that we don't know about? What are they doing right now? If you think this story is over, you haven't been paying attention. Subscribe for more stories they don't want you to know. Hit the bell so you never miss a video, and sleep well tonight.